Hello, and welcome to another episode of CGN Live. My name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you for joining me. Trying to get my second screen set up. Just a moment. As people trickle in here. Thanks for joining me. If you're here in the chat, say hello. Let me know that you're here. And then I'll just get started. Sorry, there's a giant glare on my glasses. It's really cramping my style. Maybe if I... Hey, there we go. Maybe if I stand back a little bit. All right. There's James. Hello, James. How you doing, my man? Yeah, so this is CGN Live. My name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, and we are here to talk about all the comics and graphic novels that are coming out next week over at CGN, cheapgraphicnovels.com. All these comics that we talk about today will be on sale. I think I just have to stand back. I need to work on the lighting and stuff. We'll be on sale next Monday, July 17th in the evening. And that's when they all always go on sale. Richard Fearing. Hi, Taylor. Hope you had a good 4th of July. I did. Hope you did too, Richard. We, in my town, we have a 4th of July celebration or fireworks celebration, Freedom Festival, they call it, on the last Saturday of June. So typically our 4th of July festivities in where I'm from, we kind of celebrate then. And then 4th of July itself, we have some friends over, family over, but nothing too big. But yes, so all the comics we talk about today will be on sale next Monday, July 17th, and at cheapgraphicnovels.com. Make sure you follow us on social media. Twitter and Instagram are at cheapgn. So make sure you follow us there. Facebook, you just search for cheap graphic novels. And sorry, this glare in my glasses is really, really bothering me. Maybe if I get low. Okay. Nope. Okay. I think it's just because my glasses are the way they are. And we have a weekly newsletter that we do. This week's newsletter just came out yesterday into the people's email boxes that have subscribed. If you want to subscribe to that, I can let you know how to do that. And we go weekly. We do these live shows weekly, every Thursday, and typically at noon. Sometimes the schedule changes. Just follow us on social media and I'll let you know when that is. And I think that's all the plugs. I both Absolute Authority Volume 1 and Volume 2 from CGN. Can't wait to get my hands on them. That's awesome. Yeah, those are surprisingly of all, like the Authority Omnibus went out of print super fast once James Gunn made the announcement that they're going to adapt Authority for the DCU. But those Absolute versions, yeah, I got you. I bought both. Those Absolute versions stayed in stock in our store for quite a while, and I'm assuming they're both still in stock because you got them. It was interesting that those versions stayed in stock. I've arrived. Rejoice, people of CG Nation. Yes, CG Nation. Maybe that's what we should call ourselves. But let's go ahead and share my screen, and we can talk about all the great comics and graphic novels that will be coming out on Monday. And you want to make sure you follow us on social media because Monday evening, whenever we do have these on sale, I always make a post about it. Where's the thing I like? There we go. I always make a post about it the minute that they go on sale. So, because it's not a set time on Monday evenings. It really depends on when we get the books in and they're ready to go. And Max, the guy that owns CGN, whenever he can get everything in order and put them on the website to go live, and then he sends me a text message and I make a post about it. So make sure to follow us. So this is the main front page of cheapgraphicnovels.com. If you have not been here, or if you have been here, maybe not look through the whole thing. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, that's where you can type in your email address to join the newsletter. That's how you subscribe. And then make sure you check your inbox because you'll get a confirmation email. And if it's not in your inbox, double check. Make sure your spam folder, check that too, because it might have gone in there. And then we're going to click on new releases for the purpose of this show and look at next week. these are the books that are coming out next week. We have 48 books to talk about today. I'm going to populate it by price because that's where you get all the good stuff at the top. The first one's a really, really interesting one. This is John Sable Freelance Masterstroke Edition Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. This is written and drawn by Mike Grell. This is a series that he did back in, I think, in the 80s or 90s. But this was all like his creator-owned series, and now he's self-publishing this. It started off as a Kickstarter, and I think that was to help get the funding of at least like the first print runs done. So you could have ordered this off Kickstarter, but now it's being released to the direct market, and this is just volume 1. I believe it'll be a 4-volume series. If you know in the comments, let me know. But I think it'll be 3 or 4 volumes. Let me see how long the series ran, because this volume collects the first 13 issues. Lasted 27 issues before cancellation, and some recurring. Okay, so it lasted. So there'll be 4 volumes then. Okay, so according to Wikipedia, there'll be 4 volumes of these absolute. They're absolute sized. It's listed as an omnibus. That's just like the title they went with. Comic Mix is a publisher, I guess. I think that's Mike Grell's publishing company. But they'll be absolute sized, and I think they come in a slipcase even. Does it say that? I know it says absolute size deluxe Masterstroke edition. May or may not be in a slipcase, but it's gonna be $99.99 if you order through CGN. The cover price is $125. You can see that the discount is only 20% off, and that's because it's not DC or Marvel. They don't have the backing of those two companies to offer retailers huge discounts, so it is going to be a little bit pricier, but it will be a very, very nice presentation. And I'm excited to finally read this story. Let me know if anybody has read this. I'm always checking the bargain bin section constantly. I found some amazing things there. I found the original printing of New X-Men there with Frank Quietly cover. Yeah, I was actually just checking it out today to see what we had in there. There are a lot of interesting things, a lot of omnibuses too that are like 50, 60% off, maybe 50% off. But some like a bunch of Marvel and DC stuff in there. 90s comics are right. I was thinking so, because I think this was Mike Grell after the Green Arrow run that he did. Reminds me of Valiant Shooter 90s books. Yeah, it does have that kind of vibe. But does it say? Okay, so he's from the African plains to the concrete jungle of New York. Now you can experience all the pulse-pounding action and excitement in a larger format than ever before, as one of the most reviewed comics of all time gets the treatment it deserves. So this is, it seems like a action espionage kind of comic. Maybe like a Mission Impossible. I know that movie's in theaters right now. Then we have Black Cat by Jed MacKay. And Lowhit, I know you're in the chat. You love Jed MacKay. You love his writing. Have you read the Black Cat series though? I know you said you liked his Moon Knight, and I think Doctor Strange. I can't remember which other series you mentioned you liking, but I know you said Moon Knight for sure. But this is the Omnibus, and this is a really quick printing on this because this series just wrapped up last year, I believe. But we have 2 covers. The direct market variant is by In Hyuk Lee. This is the cover we're looking at now. Direct market variant just means that these covers are exclusive to the direct market, which just means comic book shops, and CGN is a comic book shop. And then the other covers are standard edition. Those will be available everywhere, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, that kind of thing. But this is only $59.99 if you order through cheapgraphicnovels.com. And it includes, it doesn't say. I really hate when the solicits don't include what was in here. It includes the entire series, though, I can tell you that. I'll look up real quickly what it includes. I know it's the entirety of the series. So it's all a nice one-and-done omnibus, which you don't get all the time. Here it is. So it includes Black Cat from 2019, 1 through 12 in an annual, and then the 2020 series, 1 through 10 in an annual. The giant-sized Black Cat, Iron Cat 1 through 5, which was the edition of the Iron Cat 1 through 5 was like questionable if they're going to include that or not, but they did. So it looks like about 30 issues, 784 pages, and all of Jed McKay's work on the character. Oh, here we go. Yes, we're getting a lot of chat. Please fill up the chat. Love this series. Yep. Death of Doctor Strange. Okay, I thought it was Doctor Strange. The Black Cat Omnibus looks intriguing. I've heard good things. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about this. And Jed McKay, I keep hearing great things about him and his writing, and he's taking over the Avengers, which is cool. Juan, thank you for joining us, my man. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Jed McKay, Black Cat is very fun. I see Marvel Zombies Omnibus went quick. Yeah, it did. We haven't had a lot of times where the omnibuses have gone out of print or out of stock rather quickly in a while. And I think the recent ones I can think of were like Savage Avengers and then the Marvel Zombies, which Savage Avengers is a different story. I don't know. We don't know if Marvel can reprint that or not because it's got Conan in it. That's a huge thing. We don't know about that one. We haven't got confirmation on that one. But Marvel Zombies, they can definitely reprint or restock rather quickly. So hopefully they do that so people don't miss out on that story. Yes, it does include Iron Cat. I met Jed at Toronto Comic-Con. He is a cool guy. Glad he gets his first Omni. Yeah, he's getting his first Omnibus here. And then his Moon Knight stuff, I can almost bet we'll get an Omnibus eventually. And then he's doing the Avengers. So depending on how long that run lasts, he'll definitely get one for that, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for the Avengers, like Jason Aaron's run. I haven't read it all, but I do want to read it in one sitting, like one read through, because I from people that have been picking up off the stands every week, it sounds like maybe it's better read in one sitting. I don't know. Either way, though, I'm glad that the Avengers is moving on to a new writer. Not that I have anything wrong with Jason Aaron, but it's always exciting when a big team book like that is getting a new writer, especially one that's like a hot and exciting writer like Jed McKay. I was so glad I got Savage Avengers when I did. Yes, if anybody wanted that Savage Avengers book, they were definitely should have picked it up right away. I don't know if it's available anywhere still, but if it is and you see it for a decent price, I would definitely pick that up because again, we don't know if that can ever be reprinted. And that goes along with any collected editions of Savage Avengers that included Conan. I know the latter runs did not, so I hope DC does a Tom King Batman Omnibus one day. I do too. It'll happen for sure. Like, there's no way that they don't do a Tom King Batman Omnibus, or maybe 2 omnibuses, 2 volumes. But I also think that DC Rebirth, which is something I've been dabbling in a little bit recently, definitely has been underprinted in the omnibus format. Like in particular, I'm reading Flash from the Rebirth era, like the Joshua Williamson run right now. I wish that was an omnibus. But so far, I think the only Rebirth omnibuses we've had are the Tomasi ones, right? The Tomasi Gleason omnibuses. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think those are the only Rebirth omnibuses we have. Jason Aaron was okay. McKay Adventures has like 2 issues now. It's okay too. Nothing mind-blowing yet. Does it seem like it's building to something that's really cool? Or does it just seem like it's meandering? I don't know. I believe Amazon has Savage. Okay. If they do, I recommend picking them up. I don't know if we have them in stock at all. Probably not. That's the DM cover of Black Cat by Jed McKay. Here is the standard edition cover. This one is by Pepe Larraz. So you have your option of covers, both the same price. And yeah, they're both $59.99 and will be on sale on Monday. Up next, we've got The Avengers. This is a reprint. The first cover is the direct market. It doesn't say. Oh, they're just listed out of order. Okay, so this is the standard edition cover. And this is the John Romita Jr. Cover that he's redoing. He's doing an homage of that first issue of Avengers that Jack Kirby did the cover for. And this collects Avengers 1 through 30. Nice and easy, just 30 issues, 1 through 30. But this is the era where Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did, I believe, the first 10 issues, I think, and then Don Heck takes over. But you'll see the first story where they're Loki is the evil villain, and then issue 4, which is one of my all-time favorite comic book issues, Avengers number 4, where Captain America is thawed out of ice from ice. He's found frozen, and then also Namor's in that issue. Great Jack Kirby issue of comics. But this will be $59.99, $100 cover price, but we have it on 40% off. And then here's the Jack Kirby cover, which is the direct market variant. And it has the original cover intact there, the one that Jack Kirby did. So you can kind of see what John Romita Jr. did to differentiate that. We have a Detective Comics Rebirth. Oh, yeah, that's right. Batman the Rise and Fall. Yes, James Tynion's Detective Comics run. You're right. That was an all-in-one omnibus that collected all of Tynion's run on that. I give these books 6 issues to suck me in, else drop Taylor. So let's see. Current arc is just okay. All right, so Low Hit's going to give Avengers by McKay 6 issues. So they've got 4 more issues to tie him in for the long term. I'm considering getting Classic Avengers Omnibus when they all come out again. Tempted on that Avengers Omnibus. Big omnibuses feel daunting to me lately. Yeah, I mean, this isn't too massive. It's 30 issues, but it's only like 700 pages, I think. Let me look. Maybe 800 pages. Scrolling on my screen here. 744 pages. So it's not huge. But these stories are good. I just recently went through and read all the early Avengers stories or issues a year or 2 ago. I can't remember. The Jack Kirby stuff is definitely worth reading. And then the Don Heck stuff, it's not Jack Kirby, I will say. But Don Heck's no slouch. I mean, his stuff is still good too. And the team does make a turn where they change the lineup. I think issue 15 or 16. I think it's issue 16, where like Iron Man and Thor leave so they can kind of focus on their own solo adventures. And then that's when Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch join up the team. So it changes dynamic there. But I think that's kind of the fun aspects of the Avengers in general, is that the lineup's constantly changing. But yeah, to Richard's point here, all the Avengers omnibuses are coming back in print. This is just the first of it. But we'll have the first 4 volumes will be back in print and on sale within the next month or 2. And then a brand new printing of the volume 5 comes out after that. So just in a few months, we'll have the first 5 volumes of the Avengers omnibuses in print, which is cool. Let me see. Volume 5, if you do collect them all, will take us all the way through Avengers issue 149. So they're all about the same size. They're all about 700, 800 pages, which is a nice size for an omnibus, not too daunting. And they collect right around 30 issues of a book with all the crossovers and whatnot. I believe it's either the 3 or 4 has the Kree Skrull War. Let me see. The 3rd one does. No, the 4th one. Yes, the 4th one actually is a great omnibus because not only does it include the entirety of the Kree Skrull War, which is great Neil Adamson work, but also has the Avengers Defenders War. So two big storylines right there in the 4th volume. That one is definitely one to pick up. I'd say after volume 1 with all the Kirby stuff, my next favorite of those stories would probably be volume 4. Hey now, Cycle Cleveland. I was just watching just a minute ago all of the Harvey Picar appearances on David Letterman on YouTube. There's like a video that collects all of them. But it made me think of you because you're a Cleveland guy and you love Harvey Picar. So that's interesting that you just popped in. All right. Oh, my screen's loading. Give it a second here. All right. We have a Marvel Masterworks. We have 2 Marvel Masterworks. The first one is Ghost Rider Volume 5, which they've been pumping these out, I think at least one a year for the last 5 years, it appears. And this takes us, I don't think it's to the end, though. Yeah, that's issue 62. I think this series ran all the way to 75, though. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I think The initial Ghost Rider run ran all the way to issue 65 or 75. This will run us to 62, and this one is the direct market variant. The direct market variant of the Masterworks has the total number of Masterworks volume number on the spine. So the spine of this one will say Masterworks volume 345 if you're trying to collect all of them out there. And then the standard edition cover has this more silver border on it. And the spine of this one will just say Ghost Rider volume 5. So it's kind of like your choice of collecting all the Masterworks in one or just collecting the certain characters and runs that you like. But both of them are the same price at $44.99 if you're ordering through CGN. Will the Avengers Omnibus go out of print? Likely, but not. I doubt it'll go out of print fast because the recent Silver Age Omnibus is like Thor. Sorry, I'm readjusting here. Thor, and I think was Captain America. What was the other recent one that came out? Oh, Daredevil, Volume 2. But they haven't gone out of print rather quickly. They're still in stock, so it probably will eventually, but it'll probably be like a year or so. I don't imagine it'll be fast. I've watched that Picard compilation at least 4 times. It's fun stuff. I haven't finished it yet. I've never actually seen all those appearances. This is the first time I watched them, but they're funny. Like Harvey Picard is just a true, genuine guy. Like I love those kind of people that can interact with show business and celebrities and whatnot, and still maintain that they're just normal people amongst the show business people. And David Letterman, I'm a fan of him. He's from Indiana, so I gotta root for the fellow Hoosier. I picked up Adventures of Crossing Omnibus from Second and Charles for $50. I plan on getting The Gathering as well. Well, then you're if you get those two and then the 5 of these Silver Bronze Age omnibuses, you're well on your way to having all the Adventures omnibuses. You just need some modern ones like the Hickman ones, and then hopefully we get a full run of the Bendis Avengers. It's so good. I visited Harvey's grave a few weeks back. He's got a great place. I hope because I haven't read a ton of American Splendor either. That's like a big hole in my reading, and I want to. It's kind of, it feels, I was thinking about this today. It kind of feels like not having read a lot of American Splendor feels to me like not reading like Action Comics 1 and being into superhero comics. Like I read so many autobio comics and comics that were influenced by Harvey Picard's work without having read his stuff. It kind of feels blasphemous to me, but it's not well collected. I want a publisher out there like Fantagraphics or somebody to put together like an entire Harvey Picard library of like 5 or 6 volumes that collect all of his comics work, including some of like the reviews and writing that he did outside of comics and kind of a biography of sorts. I think it'd be really cool. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. Will the last new X-Men or Morrison Omnibus go out of print? That will go out of print probably quicker than Avengers Volume 1, but I don't think it'll go out fast. Someone was talking about Marvel Zombies is going out of stock right now. That was kind of an anomaly. The days of the omnibuses going out of print fast, I think, are kind of gone. Harvey Picard library would be amazing. I agree. Let's get together and do that. You and I, with our brain trust. I have editing experience. I have a journalism background. You're the guy from Cleveland. Maybe you got some connections. Let's do that. Let's get together and make that happen. We'll shop it around to all the publishers. He did work for several companies, so it would be tough. There's even like 4-issue Vertigo run. Yeah, but I think that's what I want to know is the rights on that. Like, does he still have, or not him, obviously, but his estate? Do they still have the rights to all of his work, even in spite of that? Like Vertigo, some of that stuff was creator owned, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. We'll find out though when we put this library together. So that's Ghost Rider Volume 5. And the other masterworks we have is Spider-Man, as my page loads here. The Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 6. And that'll be $44.99. And we have the 2 different covers. This one, just as I explained, this is the Bill Mantlo, Al Milgrom, Tom DeFalco era. includes Spectacular Spider-Man 67 through 79. Also will be $44.99. We have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles IDW Collection Volume 15 hardcover. So IDW has been faithfully printing out these hardcovers. They look great on the shelf. This is the Sophie Campbell era of the ongoing TMNT run. And it'll be $41.99 if you order through CGN. The savings of 30%. And this takes you all the way to issue 124 and includes the Jenica 2 miniseries. Hold on a second. We're having technical difficulties. All right. And then we have The Incorruptible by Mark Waid, complete trade paperback. This was, I think, oh, wait, hold on. We have a little note here. What's the notation say? Release delayed due to shortage. So I think there's a shortage over from Boom Studios or the distributor. But it will be on sale now, this week, July 17th. And it'll be $37.49. That's a savings of 25% off. That includes Incorruptible 1 through 30 and Irredeemable 33 through 34. This is the spin-off series spinning out of Irredeemable. Mark Waid is the writer. Oh, here we go. I've talked to Joyce Brabner briefly. She's a nice lady. Well, can you get a hold of her again and find out where the rights issues are with Harvey's stuff, and let's find that out. Maybe we can put this library together. It'd be really cool, and he deserves it. He's a legend of comics. Really love the movie American Splendor. Yeah, Paul Giamatti did a great job. That's a great movie. Which just, again, I need to read more American Splendor comics. They have a yearly outdoor comics show at Picar Park at the corner of my street. What's that like? I know I've heard you talk about that before. Is it like a like small publishing type deal? And how big is it? Like, is it worth me driving to Cleveland for? Cleveland's probably about a 3-hour drive, I think. Let me know if it's worth my drive, because I would like to go to that. I think it'd be really cool. When doesn't Boom have a shortage? They never print enough copies. Yeah, Boom is, but at least they're putting out their collected editions, I guess. Eventually we can get them. You're right. They do have some issues. Art of Horror Movies by John Landis is the artist on this. The artist? I'm assuming writer. Looks like a coffee table book. The revised edition. So this already came out, but this is revised. Includes more films, rare images, and in-depth explorations to bring this award-winning book completely up to date. It's a definitive guide for anyone who loves horror films. Overstreet Price Guide. We got this coming out. Oh, it's a small local thing I definitely want to try. Oh, that's sad. I was kind of hoping it was a cool deal that I can go to. Unless you really want to talk to Durf. Oh, Durf is there. I mean, maybe. I like his comics a lot. Overstreet Price Guide, Volume 53. We got 2 covers here. We got one with the Death Dealer and one with the Avengers. Who's that? Who does that Avengers cover? Oh, it looks like a modernized, redone version of a other cover. Kevin Nolan. Okay. So it's Kevin Nolan, an imaginative new take on Jack Kirby's classic image from Avengers 3. Okay, that's why I didn't look familiar. It's Kevin Nolan redoing Avengers 3. That's the price guide, if you're into that. Thor Epic Collection, Hell on Earth. This is $29.99, and this is Thor Epic Collection. I don't know which volume, but it includes Thor 476 through 490, so it's definitely one of the latter ones. I think it's in the 20s. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because I am collecting all of the Epic collections for Thor, and I'll definitely be picking this up, but I think it fills a gap, too. Let me go down to Thor. Thor Hell on Earth is volume 22. It does fill a gap. Okay, so we have Thor Epic Collections volume 16 through 24 now with this one. This is volume 22. This fills up the gap. So we'll have Thor Epic Collections 1 through 9, and then 11 and 12, and then 16 through 24. So we're almost there. We almost have all Thor in Epic Collections. One of the big runs that we need still is the Walt Simonson run that has not been collected in Epic Collections. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance Deluxe Edition. This is the Rick Remender series with artwork by Andre Lima. This will be $27.99 and includes the entire series, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance 1 through 11, which is a fun noir series. I read the first trade paperback, and then I've been waiting for the deluxe edition to finish it. But it's definitely sparse on the words. It's like a lot of wordless pages where Remender really lets Andre Lima Arujos artwork like breathe, which is cool. It's a little bit different than your typical Remender series. Wait a second here. Oh wow, the Overstreet Price Guide is in hardcover now. Or maybe it has been for a long time. I just haven't paid attention. So the previous Overstreet Price Guides that we looked at, with the Death Dealer and the Avengers 3 cover by Nolan, those are $33.71, and those are hardcover versions. We also have paperback versions for $26.21. So whichever version you want, I guess, hardcover or softcover. Most people will spit their coffee when they see that book on the table. On the coffee table. That's funny. The coffee table book. Death Dealer is awesome. Read the 2 trades. The Simonson Thor is available in 4 complete collections. Is that true? I thought it was. I didn't think it was finished. It was in those classic books, but I didn't think it was finished in those. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know it definitely has an omnibus. But the Epic collections, though, I'm waiting on because the Thor classics by Simonson and then the omnibus are recolored, which is annoying to me that Simonson did that. I want to read the original coloring, and people tell me that the Epic collections will have the original coloring in it. So that's what I'm hoping for. But we don't have confirmation on the coloring for that, but hopefully that's the case. Up next, we have Homicide Part 1 hardcover. This is by First Second Books. The writer is Felipe Squarzoni and David Simon. And the artist is Felipe Squarzoni. This looks like a crime noir series. The celebrated true crime book from the creator of HBO's The Wire is re-envisioned in this first volume of a gritty, cinematic, graphic novel duology. In 1988, journalist David Simon was given unprecedented access to the Baltimore Police Department's homicide unit over the next 12 months. Okay, so this is like right in line with The Wire. Okay, so the prose book was originally published, which is called Homicide. It was originally published as Homicide Life on the Streets and is what inspired The Wire. Okay. And it's going to be a 2-part graphic novel series. Interesting. So if you're fans of The Wire, maybe pick this up. It'll be $23.99 and it is in hardcover. And then it'll be out on Monday. I've heard a lot of good things about this one. And if you're especially into, or if you're going to be seeing Oppenheimer, you're going to want to read this book. It's by Abrams Comic Arts, which only put out beautiful looking books. They really have a great presentation with their comics. I've liked every book on my shelf from them. This is called Bomb, The Weapon That Changed the World hardcover. And it is about the same bomb in question with Oppenheimer. And I saw a review for this book already. I don't know if someone got early access to it or not, but they said it was really amazing. Really like kind of unsettling, like in how realistic they portray everything. But it'll be $23.99 if you order through CGN. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky Deluxe Edition Volume 4, Heaven Through Hell hardcover. This will be $23.99 and includes Daredevil 31 through 36 and Daredevil Woman Without Fear 1 through 3 and Elektra number 100. So if you've been buying the Zdarsky Daredevil run and reading it through the OHCs, the oversized hardcovers, then you'll want to pick this one up. It'll be $23.99. Then we have Offshore Lightning graphic novel. I think this was on last week's too. I must have got to push back. Yes, this on last week. I remember talking about this. It's by Sayoto Nozuna. She's the artist and writer on this manga. It's put out by Drawn and Quarterly. It's about it's a bio. It's an autobio, I believe, right? Maybe I don't. I guess it doesn't say if it's autobio, but it not Nazuna Saito started making comics in her 40s, so she was kind of late to the game. But she submitted. Sorry, she submitted a couple of her stories to um, a couple of Japanese publishing houses, and then she got picked up and started making manga. So it'll be $23.96 if you order through CGN. Next one is Juliet. It is also by John and Quarterly. The writer and artist is Camille Jordy. And let me see what this one's about. Juliet boards a train from Paris and comes back to her hometown, hoping for a low key visit with family and friends. What she finds is anything but. Her family is a mess, and Juliet finds herself involved with the unlikely George, a dyspeptic alcoholic who alcoholic who was stuck in his life. These divergent paths inevitably cross one another against a gloriously painted backdrop of eccentric small town living. And then let me check the chat real quick. Oh yeah, okay. Disney Masters Volume 22 by Georgia Cavazzano. These are the Disney Masters is the Fantagraphics line of Disney comics, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck in particular, where they're collecting the comics that were done by European artists. So a lot of this stuff has not been ever published in America, but the Disney Masters line is doing that. And this is volume 22. It's $22.49. And even though it says volume 22, it doesn't mean you can't buy this in order. Like all these books, the Disney Master ones in particular, it can be read in any order. There's no like ongoing story that's like imperative that you read everything before it. But this has Beagle Boys and Uncle Scrooge stories in it, so of course it's gonna be good. Video Game of the Year softcover. So this is a coffee table type book from Abrams Image, same company that does Abrams comic arts that I talked about earlier. But it has my understanding. So it goes from 1977 through 2022, and each chapter is about the best game of that year. So it talks all about video games and whatnot. My son says he wants this book to read it. There's a lot of critical essays, and tech journalist Jordan Meyer investigates a chronological order, the innovative genre bending, and earth shattering games from 77 through 2022. And and also looks at how gaming intersects with and eventually influences society at large while reveling in how uniquely and delightfully bizarre even the most famous games tend to be. So if you're a video game fan or you know one, this will be $22.39. Avengers Assemble by Jason Aaron, trade paperback, $20.99. This includes the Avengers Assemble Alpha, Avengers 63 through 66, Avengers Forever 12 through 15, and Avengers Assemble Omega. So collecting the ongoing Jason Aaron run of Avengers that we talked about earlier. Project Arca in the Dark Unknown. We had a book last week called Arca, but I think this is just a coincidence. I don't think this is the same thing. The writer on this book is Romain Benasaya. The artist is Joan Urgel. This will be $19.99, and it is a hardcover by Humanoids. In the not too distant future, the planet Earth has been destroyed, its orbit withering, and its citizens desperate to escape to those stars. The solution? The Arca, massive vessels bound for the distant promised land of Leonis. When passengers of Arca 3 awoken on their long intergalactic journey, they realize they're not in Leonis. Kind of sounds like Babylon 5 a little bit, which is a great show. Allison hardcover. This one, I believe, is by Fantagraphics. Yes, Fantagraphics. Writer and artist is Lizzie Stewart. Allison tells the story of a young British painter who seizes upon the opportunity to escape from her quiet life in Dorset to the thrumming art scene in the 1970s London. Human Target, Book 2, hardcover. This is a standard size hardcover collecting Tom King and Greg Smallwood's Human Target run that's been getting a lot of praise, um, particularly for the artwork. But I know it's for definitely for fans of JLI, which I am myself, and I'm excited to read this all in one go. I've not started it yet. I wanted to read the whole series once, but this will be $17.99, and it will conclude the series, collecting issues 7 through 12. Rick and Morty versus Cthulhu, trade paperback. It'll be $17.49. Jim Zub is the writer, and who is writing the new Conan series for Titan, by the way. And the artist is Troy Little. So it's looks like Cthulhu meets and H.P. Lovecraft meets Rick and Morty. Star Trek Godshock hardcover volume 1 from IDW. This is the Colin Kelly run. Jackson Lansing is the artist. $17.49 will be 30% off. Hidden River from Fantagraphics Underground, which is their imprint of where they do small print runs. So if this is a book that interests you, you want to pick this up rather quickly because they don't always reprint these. But this is a trade paperback. It'll be $15.99. It says Diego Arandojo and Jorge Vantoni's graphic novel, The Hidden River, tells the story of a real and fictional Argentine authors investigating and collecting disparate anecdotes of secret societies connecting strands of a plot hidden in the shadow of Buenos Aires that extend into entangle some of the most notable occultists of the 20th century. All right, I'm sold on that. That sounds awesome. $15.99. Becoming Frankenstein, trade paperback volume 1 from 10 Ton Press. It'll be $15.99. Mel Smith and Paul H. Birch are the writers, and Frank Sirocco is the right artist. I don't know if I said that right or not. Saved too late from his nightmares and fueled by darkness, grave deeds would be committed on his behalf. Ones he chooses not to escape, becoming, and even more daring than in his arrogance. Becoming Frankenstein was not easy, and it's even worse for those who stood in his path. Herein lies the stories of those who suffered and died, with their corpses dissected to help make Victor Frankenstein's dreams come true. Collecting all 6 issues of the hit comic book series Becoming Frankenstein, including unseen artwork. Like the origin story of Dr. Frankenstein. Sounds awesome. Heart Eyes, the complete series trade paperback by Vault Comics. Dennis Hopeless is the writer. The artist is Victor Ibanez. $14.99. That'll be 25% off. Sanity eating monsters ended humanity. The unlucky few who survived now hide in the cracks of a broken world. And yet, somehow, beneath the graveyard that used to be San Antonio, Rico met Lupe, the girl of his dreams. But how did she get here? And why is she smiling? No one survives out in the street. No one smiles where the monsters lurk. I like that cover. Looks really cool. Joker presents a puzzle box trade paperback by Matthew Rosenberg and a whole slew of artists. It'll be $14.99. I believe this is a black label book, and it includes all 7 issues. Attack on Titan Omnibus Volume 11. This is the manga, and this is the Omnibus version. So these are the 3-in-1, I believe. Yes. No, 2-in-1. The 2-in-1 Omnibus is a collect volumes 31 and 32, but it's almost 600 pages of manga. It's $13.99. So these are not the big, giant, colossal versions. These are your typical tankobon size. Lovesick trade paperback for $12.59 from Image Comics. Luana Vecchio is the writer and artist. It includes Lovesick 1 through 7. Check the chat real fast. Okay. All right. I don't make sure I'm not ignoring you guys. We have 2 Catwoman books this week. The first of which is Batman Arkham Catwoman trade paperback. I believe it's like an anthology. Oh, this collects. Okay, yeah. This is a book that's like the greatest hits of Catwoman. It's an interesting release because it doesn't have like a. I don't know. I don't know if Batman Arkham is going to be a new series where they collect like the greatest hits of like Batman villains, maybe. I don't know, but it includes a bunch of different stories of Catwoman throughout the years. Like it has the Ed Brubaker, Darwin Cook series, I believe. It has Jim Balance, a little bit of his issues in there, including Batman #1 and 355, so some of the early tales as well, and even Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane 70 and 71. The classic tales, modern tales. If you're a fan of Catwoman or know a fan of Catwoman that wants to get into comics, maybe grab this for him. $11.99. Radiant Black Volume 4, 2-in-1 trade paperback. Why does it say 2-in-1? Interesting. So it collects Radiant Black 19 through 24. I don't know why it says 2-in-1. I don't think it's a 2-in-1. I think it's just the Volume 4. But it is part of the massive verse that Kyle Higgins has created for Image Comics. We have Scotch McTiernan versus the Forces of Evil. By Image Comics, Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn is the writer. Oh, okay. And Scott Koblish is the artist on this new series. The love these former Deadpool creators have for Mad Magazine, action movies, and weed comes through in the funniest comic you'll read this year. The action spans from America's failed war on drugs to a monster bowl and a dystopian future of late-stage capitalism, all the way to the story of the unlikeliest Ghost of Christmas Future. The complete adventures of stoner soldier Scotch McTiernan are collected here in their entirety for the first time. And it's everything you would want from an action comedy. Collects the secret history of the War on Weed one-shot, Halloween Party one-shot, and Scotch McTiernan's Holiday Party one-shot. So a few one-shots. The premise sounds awesome. I definitely want to read that. Might have to pick that one up. Here we go. Once I pick up Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 5, all I need will be Uncanny Volume 2 Omni if they ever reprint it. They will. That'll most definitely be reprinted. Just keep your eye on it. Those Uncanny Omnibuses, especially 1 through 4 and now 5, I think are just going to be constantly restocked and reprinted whenever Marvel gets a chance to. But they won't let those go out of print for very long. Not anymore. Not in this day and age. We have a couple Batman One Bad Day. Batman One Bad Day. Hardcovers coming out. The first one is about Mr. Freeze. The writer is Jerry Duggan, and the artist is Matteo Scalera. Whoa, I want to read that. I love Matteo Scalera's artwork, especially on Black Science. This will be $10.79, and if you remember a few weeks ago, we had that box set that came out, and it's just a box with 2 volumes in it. And then as you collect these other hardcovers, you can fill up the box, kind of build your own box. But these are like 80-page one-shots about different Batman villains, and the premise is kind of following the same premise as The Killing Joke, where every villain is just one bad day, or every person, is just one bad day from turning into a villain. This next one is the other Catwoman book we have on sale this week, and the other Batman One Bad Day book we have on sale, because it is Batman One Bad Day, Catwoman. G. Willow Wilson is the writer, and Jamie McKelvey is the artist on it. Young Justice Targets trade paperback for $10.19. This is by Greg Wiseman and Christopher Jones, and it collects. Oh, it's spinning directly out of the HBO Max series. So I know there's the classic TV series Young Justice, and then HBO Max did like a continuation season of it, and this must be spinning out of that. So if you're a fan of the Young Justice animated series, you might want to pick this up. Pick this one up. Get to chat real quickly. And I've recently ordered The Death and Return of Superman 2022. Heard it was a pretty heavy book. Can't wait to receive it. Yeah, that's a really big book, but it includes everything you need in it. I can't wait till Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4 comes out next month. It'd be good to have 1 through 5. I agree. I have volumes 2, 3, and 5. I'm waiting for Volume 4 to fill that out. And then, hold on. Oh, yeah. And then I have the Taschen book for my Volume 1, which doesn't include every single issue, because the Taschen big, huge hardcover has 1 through 20. Or maybe it's 1 through 19 in an annual. But the first volume of the Omnibus, I think I'm missing like 20 issues still. So, but yes, I'm also excited about Volume 4 reprint because I'm missing it. Now we have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Menace on Wheels. This is the new Moon Girl series, which my son's going to be excited to read because he read through the entirety of the first series. That was like 40. Was it 49 issues? 46.
It's I think like 12 every.
Right, but I can't remember what it finished on.
issue.
This one is by the writer is Jordan Ifueko, and the artist is Glez Alba. So it's a whole new creative team, but includes Moon Girl and Devil's Dinosaur 1 through 5. It's a fun series. Moon Girl's a really fun character, and I like that series. I still need to finish reading the first one though, the first complete series. I read the first 2 volumes, I think.
No, you've read the first 3, and then
First 3.
you didn't finish the third one, but you're on the third one, but you're gonna restart because
All right.
you can't remember.
My producer over here got me in check on what I need to read, which is good. I need that because I can't remember myself. Then we have Extreme X-Men by Claremont and LaRocca, A New Beginning. This is like the new series they did, right? Yeah, the 2022 series, which continues off of their Extreme X-Men run and includes all 5 issues. And I know Salvador LaRocca was an artist that Claremont still to this day praises as one of his favorites to work with. Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man by Zeb Wells. Dead Language Part 1, trade paperback. This is the ongoing Zeb Wells run. $9.59 for this trade paperback, and includes Amazing Spider-Man 19 through 23. Space Boy, Stephen McCraney's Volume 16. This will be $9.09. This is an ongoing Steve McCraney's series that he's been doing with Dark Horse. And these are. Let me know if anybody's read these. I want to read these with my son because I think he would enjoy them. And they're all the way on Volume 16 already. Yeah, and they look really cool on the shelf because all the spines connect and whatnot. But it'll be $9.09 for this one. But let me know if you've read this series if you think we would enjoy it. And the final book to talk about is Adam the Beginning, Volume 5. The writer, is that right? Haru Ishinomori is the writer on this one. But this is Adam the Beginning. This is the origin story, kind of the what happened before Astro Boy. So it's the Tezuka mythology, but told by someone else. But it's like the beginning of Adam Boy, Astro Boy, telling the story that happened before Astro Boy became a thing, I guess. And that is that. Let me get to the chat. Let me see here. Okay. And I believe Uncanny Omnibus announced a Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley Omnibus is coming soon. I can't wait. Yes, that one's coming out next year, I believe. I can't remember what month, but yeah, that's definitely coming out. What's up, right? Oh, Lohit saying hi to Riley, my producer over here. I'll be waiting on the Zeb Wells Spider-Man Omni when they get that together in the future. Yeah, that one, they'll definitely make an omnibus for sure. I mean, they already came out with Spider-Man Beyond, and the Nick Spencer runs are already getting omnibized, if that's a word. So yeah, whenever Zeb Wells wraps up his run, the omnibus will definitely be coming out. You want to? What's the issue? What's it in on?
47.
47 issues is how long the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur series lasted. The first one. It didn't quite get to issue 50, which is kind of sad. But who was the writer on that one?
I think it's different every time.
Amy Reeder, Nacha Bustos.
Amy Reeder and someone else.
Yeah. I think the creative team was mostly the same for this, though.
I think it's Amy Reeder.
Anybody read these Moon Girl series? They're really fun comics. I can look to see if
those two are the same writers.
Okay.
And then this one has. Oh.
What?
So Amy Reeder did the first 3, but at the end,
So what else took over?
Montclair did Full Moon, Bad Buzz, and Place in the World.
Oh, okay. When is the Red Sonja Omni dropping? Well, let me look that up. See what our latest date is on that. Red Sonja. Oh, geez. Red Sonja Omnibus. There it is. It's still up for pre-order, and it is due to come out August 29th. It's the date we have on it. It'll be $74.97 if you order through CGN, Low Hit, or anybody else watching this. Let me share my screen there. And this is what it looks like here. And it'll be $74.97, and it includes Marvel Feature 1 through 7 and Red Sonja 1 through 15. And the She Devils appearances from the original comic series, Marvel comic series, The Savage Sword of Conan, in one single impressive volume, presented in fully remastered colored pages. And that is by Dynamite Comics. I believe I need the JMS Spider-Man Volume 2. I'm waiting for that to be reprinted. That finished in the top 20 most wanted reprints from Near Make Editions poll, so that'll probably make it in for sure. Also, I want to get into Brian Box Brown. Which book should I definitely pick up? New He-Man Effect book, Tetris for sure, because I think you told me you liked the Tetris movie from Apple TV, which I feel like kind of ripped off the idea of Box Brown. But Tetris for sure, and then if you're into Andy Kaufman or Andre the Giant at all, I pick up one of those two. And then that's the kind of thing is like Box. You're mixing me up with this Brian Box. Box Brown is the kind of guy that if he writes something about an interesting subject that you like the subject of, then you're going to like the book. So if you are into the idea of the He-Man book and the effect that the commercialization of He-Man and Transformers and G.I. Joe and all those things had on kids, I know that's definitely of the same era as you. You'll want to pick that up as well. But I definitely start with Tetris. That one's the first one I read, and it was awesome. He also did a book on the legalization of marijuana, which, if that's a subject that you're interested in, you might like. He does a bunch of little mini comics and stuff too. I think he has a website you can find some of that stuff on. But start with Tetris and let me know how you feel about that. But yes, quick plugs before we get out of here. Follow us on social media: Twitter and Instagram at CheapGN. Facebook, search for cheap graphic novels. All the books we talked about today will be on sale Monday evening, July 17th. So make sure you get ready and prepared to buy those. And subscribe to our newsletter. The new one will be coming out on Monday, and next Monday, ahead of the time of the books being on sale. And then we will also have another show next week. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, and share it with all your friends. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Had a great time. Love talking comics. Have a great day, and keep reading comics.